Hello and welcome to another episode of News, Views and Brews with Tonya. Hi, I'm Tonya. Hi, how's it going? I'm starting off my morning with, I've actually got it here just so I can remember. I'm going with coffee this morning and it's Plantation Selection Prestige Quality Filter. And basically it's instant coffee, probably on the lines of Nescafe Gold Blend. I've gone for mine without milk and with a little bit more sugar. It's because I find that if I remove the milk, I need a little bit more of a sweetness. Okay, so another PinkNews story that I want to go over. There's actually quite a few that has come out since I did my first episode yesterday, so I only have 15 minutes. So this one I wanted to go over. So this is the trans military bans undermine very essence of the American dream, says Marine vet. This is published by Maggie Basker. This was posted a day ago on PinkNews.com. And so firstly, this Marine called Sarah Klimm, she has served 23 years in the US Marine Corps. She has different facets of her identity. She's a parent, obviously a Marine, a disabled veteran, and a policy analyst for Minority Veterans of America. And even in her own words, being trans is the last identity that's a list of priorities. However, of course, seeing the situation that's happening obviously in America and other countries, she has been asking this question to herself, like, I would have died for this country. Will I do that now? No, because we're not being treated the same. And I think this is a really important thing, regardless of whether you think our military should be going to country A, country B, etc. These people are still serving their country, putting their lives on the line for us, whether it's the UK, whether it's America. And so I just want to say to Sarah Klimm, thank you for your service. And I can understand why you would feel like this, because it's disgraceful. I mean, for how long had it been I don't know about it in the United Kingdom, but it was only until 2011 that Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy that was established in 1994 banned LGBTQ plus individuals from openly serving in the military. Now, what I've never understood is we want people to be happy, to be comfortable, to feel safe to do their job. Otherwise, why would you want to? Even if you were paid a billion pounds, dollars, euros, etc., why would you do a really unsafe job where you're going to be thrown abuse at and so on? When it's to serve your country or run into fires or help somebody with your medical knowledge in a hospital. All these different things, and I struggle to understand how that helps in productivity and efficiency. You're not going to be at your most productive self if there are facets about yourself that is being abused, harassed. This is no different to the story again on PinkNews.com regarding the school, which is the Christian University granted exemption from addressing sexual harassment claims from LGBTQ plus students. Now, some people are like, well, why are LGBTQ plus students going to a Christian university? Well, they could actually be Christian, for one thing. Also, it depends on, availability. Is that the only university in your area? Is that the course that you want to do that you can't do anywhere else? Is it how many seats are available for that course? All these different things you have to take into consideration. And the idea that, you're going to be, swept with abuse in just general, whether you're in school, whether you're in your profession, is disgusting. I mean, shouldn't we be doing more to protect people, to make them feel welcomed? I mean, I wouldn't want to serve in the military if I knew that being pansexual would cause me distress and, you know, issues from other people's treatment towards me. You know, I wouldn't want to become a Christian if I knew that they were just constantly, and not all Christians, of course, but I wouldn't be at all interested in even looking at Christianity if that's how I'm going to be treated. That if somebody, sexually harasses me, abuses me, etc., that my word, my body, my worth is not going to be taken into consideration. You know, and this constant wave of, you know, removing safety, removing rights is. Why would you want to stay there? But of course, it's difficult to move. It's difficult to travel. You know, maybe you don't want to because it's your home. Why should you? You know, so it's very tiresome and it's very difficult. You know, I couldn't imagine being in Sarah Klimm's situation. You know, having that not moral but maybe ethical kind of, you know, philosophical question: would I still die for my country? And the answer being no, because this doesn't feel like my country. I don't feel like I'm worth anything. And it's difficult. And considering that after the Don't Ask, Don't Tell was removed and there was a ball, service people came with their partners and were having a wonderful, happy, you know, safe time, getting to feel themselves, not having to hide their partner. You know, that should be the world that we live in. Like, what is going on? Please tell me. I don't get why you want to squash someone down. I just don't. You know, we should, and that's the other thing, going back on that Christian university, why would you want to allow it to be okay to have sexual harassment happening and not sorting it out? You know, like, why? Like, isn't it meant to be like, you know, love thy neighbor and, you know, all these different things? You know, how it's just the cherry picking again for some of these people. I'm never going to say it's all the Christians, or all the, you know, there are many people who are religious that are fantastic, so my hat's off to them. But these particular people at this university that want this exemption, it's just ridiculous. And the other thing I wanted to mention, which my wife mentioned, and she was saying, you know, for being trans, for being queer, you know, where can we go that's safe? You know, I mean, there are so few places to go. You know, whether it's work, whether it's in general society. It's difficult to find a place where you can be within, you know, other people that get you. You know, it can be tricky, and some people don't even have that option due to what's around them, or the lack of what's around them. You know, if you live in very small rural places, you know, and it's very difficult. And I know that a lot of queer and trans members of the community go online, you know, depending on what their hobby or their interest is, they have managed to find other people and have, you know, began to, you know, enable themselves to create friendships and bonds, and being able to feel safe to enjoy miniature painting or Dungeons and Dragons and so on. But the last thing I want to leave you with, as we're coming to the end of this, that's good coffee, is, you know, I'm going to say this, if this was a black community in this situation, brown community in this situation, whichever community with particular skin colour, there would be so much more uproar. right? If we as white people were in this situation, there would be absolutely an uproar. So why are we just basically switching it from, from it being gay to it being trans to it being, back in the past when we had segregation. Even in segregation, there was still, people of color fighting for their countries and still dealing with absolute harassment. Winston Churchill didn't have value towards, black soldiers. However, we have black soldiers fighting in the United Kingdom during the war. So why do we keep switching it when it wasn't okay to do it to that particular community in the past? Right? We shouldn't be in this situation. It's 2023. So, yes, these are my thoughts on this, but we shouldn't be living in this type of society. It's really unfathomable that people like Sarah Klimm and others have to deal with this, and that awful question of, would I die for my country? So I want to say thank you for listening, and I just also want to say that I was never sure when doing this podcast, when talking about public figures, like YouTubers, etc., whether I should name drop them, but looking over it, obviously being a public figure, yeah, that's not an issue. So in my previous episode, I mentioned a fantastic Black American gay YouTuber. His name is MacDoesIt. I'll put the link into his YouTube so that you can actually see his videos, his content. He has such a great humor, and especially his intros as well. It's just, it always makes me laugh. So he is a great YouTuber. So yeah, please check out his content. And also, you'll probably be able to find the Among Us clip that I mentioned, where he was trying to type "I'm gay" and it kept modding the word "gay," which obviously I mentioned in my previous episode. So I also want to say a thank you to my wife Roxy for bringing up the question about being trans and the online spaces and where can you go. And my goodness, there's already so many news articles going on, regarding the women's football team and about the UK deciding that it's a priority to focus on forcing separated, gendered bathrooms in public buildings. When there's a food crisis, a housing crisis, people of asylum being treated poorly, homeless people being treated poorly, people, oh my goodness, there is so much happening, and it always feels like the emphasis is in the wrong place. Anyway, I have been Tonya, and this has been News, Views and Brews. I hope you've enjoyed whatever drink that you've been having, and I hope that you have a fantastic Monday. And I do feel so sorry for everyone who have got like 3 weeks or so left before it's back to work, it's back to school, it's back to... Oh, could you imagine having two lots of 6 months holiday? Wouldn't that be